I never thought I'd step over this boundary. Not with her. She eased away from me gently as if hesitant to let go. I stayed still, frozen. I just lay there, hands flat against my sides, breathing through my mouth to stay silent. My shirt was unbuttoned. One sleeve caught under my elbow. I married young, raised 2 kids, kept a neat apartment, and stuck to the script. Love turned familiar, reliable, safe. I didn't seek fire. I just managed, nodded when needed, spoke less than I listened. I convinced myself comfort equaled joy. But I was mistaken. It unfolded on a sticky, overcast Thursday in July. I just finished wiping down the kitchen counters when my phone vibrated. It was Rachel, my oldest friend from university. "Kay, any chance Ethan could crash with you this weekend? My mom's in the hospital. I have to head to Jacksonville." Pause. Her son Ethan, 21, almost 22. I recalled him clinging to her skirt on their last visit. But now he stood eye level with me, low-voiced with a quiet steadiness that made you pause. Of course, I texted back. He showed up that evening, backpack slung low. "Appreciate it, Mr. Garrett." "Really?" I smiled. "You're not 10 anymore. Call me David." He smirked and I noticed his gaze hold a fraction longer. I told myself to ignore it. That night I grilled burgers, still his go-to. We streamed a thriller after eating something fast-paced he leaned into. I mostly watched him how he tracked every twist like hunting for clues. Later I dropped off fresh sheets and found him on the balcony staring into the dusk. Moths flickered near the light. Crickets hummed in the heat. "You good?" I asked softly. He nodded once. "Sometimes I want to freeze everything. You ever get that?" I studied the line of his shoulder in the half-light. "Yeah," I murmured. "More than you know." He turned and for a beat the space between us thickened heavier, closer. Then he grinned, rose, and said, "Night." I lingered outside, an unfamiliar heat spreading low in my gut. It wasn't desire. I told myself that it was just being noticed. The next day dragged lazy. I made waffles. He helped me sort the storage closet without prompting. We played music, old Springsteen, and I ripped him when he mouthed the words. "My mom raised me on your mixes," he said, laughing. By late afternoon, dusty and hot, I suggested the pool. I hadn't worn those trunks in ages. They clung tighter than memory. When I stepped out, he was already floating. Eyes shut. "Jump in," he said, voice low. The water felt perfect. We splashed, talked light. Nothing serious. Then he looked straight at me. "You don't laugh enough." "Like real laughs, I do." "Not often," he said. "When it's real, it changes your whole face." I tried to brush it off, but it lodged inside. He wasn't seeing me as someone's dad friend. He was just seeing me. That night, sleep dodged me. His voice looped in my head. His laugh, the way his eyes locked and stayed. Something dormant stirred. Something I shelved years back. The next morning, I rose before dawn. I sat with coffee, watching pale light crawl over the lawn. I told myself the spark would fade. Then I heard his steps, socks sliding on tile. My pulse skipped. He appeared, hair rustled, eyes half open. "Morning." "You're up early," I said. "Once scrambled eggs." We moved through the routine easy. Me cooking, him leaning nearby, watching in a way that left me curious and off balance. When I slid his plate over, our knuckles grazed. Brief, but it crackled. "You always seem so together," he said between bites. "Is that code for dull?" "No," he smiled. "You make this place feel steady." I didn't know how to answer. I'd spent decades being the anchor, the one who kept it smooth. Hearing it named meant something. Meant he saw me. After eating, we split off. He read on the patio. I tackled laundry, but clouds piled up by noon and we ended up inside. We sat at opposite ends of the sectional as rain drummed the roof. I lit a couple candles. We flipped through an old album. "That's my son," I said, tapping a photo of a muddy kid waving a stick. "He's tougher than I ever was." He glanced at me. "You saw yourself short." I suddenly felt how near he sat, the warmth radiating. "You remind me of someone I used to be," I said under my breath. "That good?" He nodded, but also kind of intense. A long hush. Then he raged and brushed my wrist. Light, warm. "You don't have to tense up around me," he said. My lungs stalled. I didn't pull back. Not right away, but after a second, I stood. I'll start the kettle. In the kitchen, I gripped the sink, heart hammering. I told myself it was nothing. Just a weird blip in an empty weekend, but I still felt his fingertips. That night, I lay awake listening to thunder roll out. Sleep stayed away. The boundary had shifted. I didn't know what it meant, only that I couldn't unsee the change. The next morning, air felt rinsed. I stood on the balcony, coffee cooling, watching fog lift. Ethan hadn't come down. I wasn't sure if I wanted him to or not. Finally, I heard him. "Morning," he said. "Hey," we stood quiet. "You okay?" he asked. Not entirely, I admitted. He nodded like he caught the subtext. "Yesterday. I didn't mean to rattle you." "You didn't?" I said fast and softer. "Not precisely," he waited. "Truth is, I forgot what it feels like to be truly seen. And I didn't expect it from you." "I didn't expect to feel it either," he said. That day stretched slow. We hit the market, folded clothes, watched another film, quiet, deliberate, packed with pauses and small glances. Halfway through, he slid his hand into mine. This time, I let it stay. We sat like that, present, sharing the same hush. "You're the first adult in forever who actually hears me," he said. "Who doesn't treat me like some clueless guy?" "You're not," I whispered. "And I see that." I lifted my hand, pushed a strand of hair off his forehead before thinking. He leaned closer, close enough. I felt his breath. I stood fast. "I should check the stove." I said. He let me go that night. After dishes, he turned. "Thanks," he said. "For what?" "For being real." I touched his jaw. Quick, soft. And in that instant, I knew it wasn't about years or roles or rules. It was about being seen, wanted, known. After he added upstairs, I sat in the dim living room. I didn't chase sleep. I just let myself feel he was leaving tomorrow. Routine would resume, but nothing would truly reset because I was awake.